Hello everyone, HM here. Today I'm going to be doing a very, very special video for you. Emphasis on very there, very, very random. Today I'm going to be doing a long video called My Whole View of Magic. So, magic. I'm going to be talking about a few things. Got my notes on this pink post-it. This is going to be covering every single topic that I've thought of. There's probably more. I might do my whole view of Magic 2015. Yeah, this is going to be my whole view of Magic 2014. Every November, every year, I'll be doing my whole view of Magic. If it's changed. Okay? If it's changed. So if my view of Magic hasn't changed by this time next year, I won't be doing a video next year, but chances are they will have. Right, so to start things off, I'm going to be talking about Magic at school. So, I'll be at school, right, and my friends, my mates will be coming up to me and they'll be saying, "Oh, Angus, show me a trick." If I say, yes, I'll show them a trick, they'll say, "Well, how'd you do that, Angus?" And then they'll say, "Can you do this like Dynamo?" We'll come back to that. If I say, "No, I don't want to show you a trick," they will then say, "You're not a proper magician." Okay, so to start things off, how can you call me a non-proper magician if I don't show you an effect? I either want to or I don't want to. Just because you ask me to do a trick at that one point does not mean that that's going to be the rest of your life, alright? Because there's still the rest of my life where I can, you know, show them an effect, basically. Let's just adjust the webcam. Because if they're not a magician themselves, you see, spectators, they don't know anything about magic. They don't know there's magic shops. They don't know that there's genres of magic. They don't know that shows like Magician Impossible, Tricked, have camera tricks in them. Some spectators do. I know a couple who've realised it's camera tricks. They then say to me, "Angus, can you be like Dynamo?" You're not as good as Dynamo, because he just goes up to the streets and then just does magic with anything. Okay, this is TV shows we're talking about. Anything you say goes, because how do you know that Dynamo's not just paid that person 50 quid to just say yes when he guesses of what playing card they're thinking of? So, think from playing card, 8 of hearts, wow, next trick, clip. How do people know that that wasn't 50 quid spent or more? Because, you know, spectators, especially people at my school, are so dumb. They don't realise that camera tricks are there. Because, let me tell you this, how is it physically possible? I know magic, yeah, it's supposed to be impossible, you know, all tricks, but I saw in his series 1 of Magician Impossible, he teleported from one balcony to another in 2 seconds. You can make objects like this phone soon to be replaced on Saturday, maybe teleport to there, maybe using a silk, some sleight of hand, fake phone, pull, something like that. But with a person, explain to me how it is physically possible to teleport from one balcony to another, which is about a quarter of a mile away. Not physically possible. Okay. Is there anything else I want to say? Oh yes. They'll say to me, so I'll be sitting at a table, they'll say, Angus, can you do a trick with this pencil case, okay? Can you do this trick with this pencil case? Okay, just because I know at least one secret of a trick doesn't mean I can do a trick with anything. If I know how to do a snap change, that does not mean I can do a trick with, I don't know, you know, this USB cable. Wow. That's the kind of examples I get. Can you do a trick with this USB cable? Can you do a trick with these scissors? Can you do a trick with my wallet? Can you do a trick with my phone? No, because the majority of tricks need a secret setup or some kind of force. How am I supposed to do a force with a pencil case? I could maybe take a pencil out of the pencil case and make it vanish and reappear, but, you know, the objects I sometimes get given at school are the most obscure objects. You'd think, if I showed you them, if you, watching this video, if you're a magician, you came to my school, you'd be amazed at the questions I get asked about, you know, magic. Can you do a trick with this box, for instance? Okay. Next topic. Okay. We're going to be talking about wannabe magicians / young magicians. I'll do young magicians first. So, I think there are plenty of people at, well, I'm gonna use my magic club as an example. There are at my club probably 5 to 10 people, probably maybe not 10, probably about 3 to 7 people who buy so many tricks. I'm going to give names such as, right, these aren't people who go to my club, alright? You know magicians, Daniel Garcia, Liam Montier, Richard Sanders, Jay Sankey, all these big names. And I know people at my club who are my mates. I won't give names because they might get offended. But you'll know, some people will know if it's them or not. And those people will know who I'm talking about as well. But 3 to 7 people in my club continuously buy tricks. I don't think you can learn much from this, because at J-Day, which was just the other week, let's check the calendar, which was 1, 2, 3, about 3 weeks ago, the magician Luis de Matos came in as a special guest, and he said words of wisdom in my eyes. He said, do not go to see magic shows to get inspiration. You want to be original, you'll learn nothing original if you go to see magic shows. Don't go see magic shows. Some people, the, you know, amateur young magicians watching this video will think that's total rubbish. But I agree with Luis de Matos, because if you're not going to a show, if you're going to a show to pick up inspiration, then you're not going to be original. Because if you're trying to sell yourself as a magician with business cards, what do you do that's different to this other magician I'm trying to book? Why should I choose you? And the answer to that will be, I'm as good as Paul Daniels. I'm as good as Penn and Teller. I'm as good as whoever else you're seeing at a theatre. But you don't want to compare yourself to another magician, I think, because you're trying to be original. What's special about you? So, that's the same thing with buying tricks, because if you're buying tricks from big magicians, then yes, the spectators won't know that these tricks are from famous magicians. But I feel as if, because I used to want tricks by big magicians, but thinking about it now, that's probably the trap, that's a hole you can fall into, because I feel better if think of it as this: you're in a school talent show. What, out of these 4 things, which sounds better to you? Winning the competition, doing a trick that is not your own and is gimmicked, doing a trick that is your own and is gimmicked, doing a trick that isn't your own but is ungimmicked, or doing a trick that is your own and is ungimmicked. Obviously, I think if it's your own effect and it's not gimmicked, you're going to feel so much better inside than if you're relying on a gimmick. So sorry, I'm just going to hand you these 4 notes which I've just changed into 20s from 10s, but I'm going to keep this Extreme Burn 2.0 gimmick back here, that sort of thing. So I think buying effects will get you nowhere, and I'm not just copying Luis de Matos there. That is a view I have had before I listened to Luis de Matos. A few people will know that, and that's not just the dog's bollocks. Next, well, no, I've still got some other things to say. Young magicians also will, some, and we're also involving YouTube magicians now, will copy other magicians. Not now. I know you might think I've just gone over that, but this is a slightly different area. Patter. I don't like people who will buy these effects, and then the person on the DVD, maybe John Bannon, maybe he does patter with maybe the Royal Scam, Spin Doctor, I don't know what else he's released, Fractalicious, something like that. If these young magicians are using the same patter as was on the DVD, you're not going to be in the flow of the magic. You're going to be following the steps. I don't know if you understand what I mean by that, because it's a bit like dancing. If you're into the music, it looks so much more natural. Whereas if you're following the steps, it doesn't look as natural. It's the same thing with magic, sort of. If you're following the script, if you're following a script that isn't your own, it's not going to be as good. I mean, yeah, obviously if it's a stage show, you've got to have a script. But, you know, using the same pattern for tricks, different kind of script, not very good, I think. Not original. Yeah, maybe sometimes it's alright to use patter if you really can't think of anything else, and if there isn't anything else to go with it. I also think young magicians sometimes buy these sold effects. They'll watch the DVD, they'll prepare the gimmick, maybe takes a day or 2 if you need to go to shops and buy anything to make the gimmick. You'll perform it to people at school, your family, and all the performing of this trick will be done within a week. The trick then goes to the back of the shelf. I've got loads of shelves now and loads of drawers of magic. Probably my magic storage in my room's probably increased by about 50% in the last month. So yeah. So they'll buy tricks. They won't ever use them again after a week. They'll continue buying tricks. They'll buy a trick, perform it for a week, back of the shelf. New trick just to replace that one, then that gets replaced. New trick to replace that one, perform it for a week, back of the shelf, that gets replaced, and so on. So I don't think, if you're... I buy maybe one trick by a famous magician, maybe once a year. I've never, in fact, no, I've not bought a single effect, you know, with the DVD and gimmick by a famous magician. I've only got SSS for Christmas last year, so I didn't buy it, and even then I just traded it with Lumos Magic, so I don't have SSS anymore. I got fibre optics for Christmas, but I only got that because I actually needed a rope routine. Some people buy loads of card tricks and they don't use them all in a routine. Royal Road to Card Magic, that was just that's not really a trick, that's tips and guide of card magic overall. It teaches you sleights, not tricks. And that's it, really. The only other effect I've ever bought was Coin Squeeze, but even then, that's not a very popular one. Not like, you know, yes, it does come with a DVD. Yes, it does come with the props, which is sort of a gimmick, but still, it's by Magic Makers, not by a big magician. So, mate, yeah, I've got one trick by a magic company. One. That's it. Yeah, because I got Spin Doctor for my birthday this year, Royal Scam for Christmas, so I've never bought one, and I didn't really ask for any of these, apart from Fibre Optics and Royal Road to Card Magic, but they actually were needed. Unlike young magicians who buy effects just for the sake of it, sounds cool, got 50 quid, yeah, I'll buy it, put it to the back of the shelf. So yeah, next thing, we are currently about 17 minutes in. Wannabe magicians. Now, I'm going to go get something. I'll be back in like 1 second. I'll keep talking. Wannabe magicians. Let's look at a few examples here. Wannabe magicians. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 copies of my Young Magicians Club magazine. I'm going to show you some wannabe magician examples. So I won't use that one, because one of my mates is in that one and I don't want to offend him. Who's in this one? Now, if you actually go to the club and you see this, then please don't feel, oh, Oscar Leonard, won't use him. Besides, his one wasn't actually bad, because him and Hocus Magic Pocus actually know what they're talking about. And I'm not just saying that because they're my mates. Just farted. Excuse me. It's only a little one. Perfect. As we can see, we've got someone here called Sam Bolton. Now, we're still on wannabe magicians. Now, people, Young Magicians Club, no, Young Magicians, not Young Magicians Club, the young ones, maybe under the age of 13, put down the rubbish answers. These are the ones who don't perform, and they don't have any experience. Alright? So, we have, well, I always read this bit last. Top tip for getting into magic. Now, everyone finds some kind of persuasion to write down practice, practice, practice. Oh yeah, and a bit more practice. So, look at this picture for a start. In his bedroom with a pack of cards. Should be performing. Why is he in his bedroom? Clearly buying all the stuff to make his act good, but does he actually have an act? Don't know. And does he actually perform this act? Don't know. Pretty sure he doesn't, because he would have found a better photo than him fanning a pack of cards in his bedroom. So I wrote off my member profile to the organiser of the magazine the other month. And top tip for getting into magic, I didn't say practice, practice, practice. One, because that's original. No one else has actually said that. B, because I think there's more to it than just practicing. I said, find a genre of magic that you like and learn a few tricks in that. I didn't just say practice. There was some other things I said, but I definitely said find a genre of magic that you like. Original answer, true fact, and you know, it's important to find what sort of magic you're into, because, you know, Craig Petty's a coin magician. He's the only one I've got an example of, but yeah, he's a coin magician. He handles coins because he's a coin magician. He fantasises about coin magic more than he does card magic, bill magic, bar magic, parlour magic, close-up magic. Well, coins are part of close-up. Stage magic, you know, all these sort of things. So that's important. Don't just say practice. There's more to it than that. And that's something that a wannabe young magician talks about. Now, I also think some young magicians who go to the Young Magicians Club and other young magicians overall like and look up to Dynamo when Dynamo's not all about it. Yes, Dynamo, if you're watching this, you're probably not, because I'm way too low class for you. But when we met last year, if you're watching this, when we met last year, you're a nice guy. But I think Magician Impossible's not that good, and I think that any young magicians watching this shouldn't look up to Magician Impossible, because it's camera tricks. Everyone knows it. Yeah? Alright. Covered that. We are now 22 minutes in. What's next? Fate. Now, I'll move that until near the end. So we're going to talk about soul tricks, right? I think, well, I've created an effect called Still Standing, which I made a video of about a year ago now on this channel. It's basically vertigo, except you can't balance the deck on the box. So it's a slightly decreased version of vertigo. But vertigo, well, I've shown Still Standing to a couple of mates. People around. I've just left it in my room balancing, card box, that's what it is. Just left it balancing in my room every day, just so I can look at it. I've showed the tricks to my friends, my mates and all that. And they said, yeah, it's good, I like it, me gusta. I've taught my friends how to make the gimmick. And then they've shown it to friends. I've said, and then they've got applause for doing it. And by the way, none of this is bullshit. They got applause for doing it, so that made me feel good. But I then interrupted and said, that's my trick, just saying. And this, yeah, it's Angus's trick, but Angus, it's based on vertigo. Those magicians, my friends, who said, yes, Angus, but it's based on vertigo, have no idea, do they? Because, let me give you a few examples. Fallen by Daniel Garcia is a rising card effect, one card at a time, rising card effect, yeah? So is Uprising by Edward Boswell. Two different methods, but there's still two different tricks, just like Vertigo box and my Still Standing box. Two different gimmicks, slightly, but two different tricks. There's still two different tricks, and that's why some of my mates are getting mixed up a bit. Okay, soul tricks, we're still on that topic. I also don't think that if you've got a good enough card, coin, stage, close-up, parlour routine already, you don't need to be buying more stuff. When I go to the magic shop, as I said, never buy effects by big magicians. Why? Why, Angus? Why do you not buy these big, famous, incredible effects which you would have never thought of yourself, Angus, at the magic shop? Why do you not buy them? And the answer to that is, again, I won't be original. I'll be sponging off other magicians, and this is a good quote. Right? It's a sign of weakness. If you're buying effects, technically, to me, if you're buying soul tricks on a day-to-day, possibly, well, just regular basis, maybe every time you go to the magic shop, or every month, or once every couple of weeks, if you're buying a big effect by a big magician, it's a sign of weakness, because you're basically telling yourself, I failed, I can't think of any good effects, especially if you never actually have made an effect. If you have, but they're rubbish, that's still a sign of weakness, because you're buying the effect, because all your own tricks are rubbish. I have created over 40 legit effects. Every single one of them, I make them in my magic notebook. Here we are. It's waterproof. Got my pen in the side, got a few post-its to all my favourite stuff. Here's the back. And we have got pages and pages of material in here. Pages and pages of material. And that's, yeah. And that was the latest routine I've been working on. So, as I was saying, I make effects maybe once or twice a week. Maybe if I'm on holiday or something, I'll create an effect when I get back. But max, probably about 3 weeks. So I create an effect at least every month, at least. So I create over maybe 20-25 tricks a year. Not all of them successful, but the majority, half to most, are legit. I make them up, try them out, make the gimmick if there is a gimmick. I don't like gimmicks, because as you know, I prefer winning a competition with a trick that is my own without a gimmick, you see. Referring to back notes there. I make the trick, and then make a gimmick if there is one. I'll only make a gimmick if I need one, and it's physically impossible for me to do it with just sleight of hand. So I'll make the effect, then I'll go to my local town, and I'll try out the effect, and if they like it, then that's a success. I'm going to be performing this at school, so they don't call me a bad magician anymore if they're saying, Angus, you're not a proper magician because because you're not showing me an effect when I ask. There we are, referring to back notes again. You're getting quality in this video. So, yeah. You should create effects more than you buy tricks, okay? And also, if you are a successful magician and you do get gigs at least once a week, once a month, 10 times a year, you've got to remember, if you're trying to invest money into your company, you don't want to be spending more than you're earning, yeah? So if you're earning 30 quid a gig, you don't want to be spending £30 or more on a trick, alright? When I go to a magic shop, I just buy props, like packs of cards, silks, Chinese coins, $half, trick packs. But trick packs aren't by big magicians, you know, only classic trick packs like the Svengali, Stripper, Invisible, Mental Photography, Menetekel deck. Classics. Also, probably buy a few sponge balls. What else have I got? Just looking in the mirror. You know, basic stuff. I did buy a chop cut, but that's again just a classic trick. This isn't modern magic. So, by big magicians. So next topic, we have tricks. Not sold tricks, just tricks. So, I think that if you're planning on doing magic to your friends, to your family tomorrow, you're lying in bed like, God, you're just buzzing about performing this amazing trick you've just created, and you're going to show everyone tomorrow, turn off the light, off sleep, still buzzing, yeah? I think it's not about how good the effect is. I'll show some of the judgmental mates at the club an effect I came up with. Sometimes people I have never met before, they're new to the club, I'll say, you know, I'm Angus, this isn't on a regular basis. Sorry about that quick cut, everybody. My brother just came in making no at all awareness of the sign on the door saying recording, you fucking twat. God, you fucking twat. He's playing fucking Xbox. Anyway, so back to where we were. I'm going to have to go through hours, minutes of editing just to do one cut. Anyway, back to where I was. I think, so I'll be showing people at the club, hi, I'm Angus, yeah, this is an effect I came up with, tell me what you think. And they'll be thinking, they'll say, I can improve that effect. It's not about how good the effect is, because if you're performing a simple trick to a person like this, we'll take the cap off a Sharpie, and we'll take this other Sharpie, and we're going to make the lid vanish. 1, 2, 3. Oh, the pen's actually vanished, but actually, you see, it's just, oh my ear, you see, oh, vanished. That's a basic effect, but spectators aren't going to know how it's done if it's done correctly. It's not just about how good the trick is, it's about the presentation, the timing, the misdirection, looking where you want your audience to look, aka misdirection. Misdirection's a key factor of making a trick good, alright? So, yeah. It's not about how good the effect is, it's how you perform it. But obviously, yeah, it can't just be gonna make the pen vanish. Yeah, vanished. Some people at the club even show me appalling vanishes like this. I'll just take a 20p coin, 20 pence coin. They'll go like this. This is a ginger friend of mine's coin vanish. I think I'm going to take you through these steps of making vanish good, because obviously that's not going to fool anyone. It's not just because this same effect can be improved just by a few simple steps. So number 1 is making your move more natural. So unlike this, we're going to be making it more natural. Actually no. So we'll make the move more natural. Vanished. Next, we're not going to be looking at the object when we're doing the false transfer, because we can pass objects from hand to hand without looking, yes? Because we know where our hands are using our nerves, our muscles, yes? There it is. So, you don't need to look at the coin when you're doing the false transfer, otherwise they're going to otherwise they'll look at your hands and they'll think, well, why didn't he just do the transfer and like the vanish, and this hand like vanished. So you look at the coin, this is misdirection. You don't look at the transfer. You then look at this empty hand, but you say the coin's in this hand. It's vanished. Next, step 3. Drop this hand to your side so you don't cause attention to it. Because if you're doing this, vanished. This is up here, all the way up here. Tension's going to be up here. Even if you just got it in the finger palm, classic palm, if your hand's up here, still not going to be no attention on it. Vanished. Oh, what this? The coin's definitely not in there. Just there. So, yeah, just drop it to the side. Vanished. Next, you've got to have a reason for passing it into this hand to pick up the pen. Sorry. Sorry. I need a drink after this is done. How many minutes are we in? Crikey, 36.5 minutes. So, you want to look at the coin, do the force transfer without looking, tap, put it back here, drop this hand to the side, it's vanished. How good does that look? Vanished. Compared to this, and you don't want to be pointing either if you still choose to do a vanish like this, because that's going to put even more attention on this hand than if you're just holding it like that. Next, if you're a real pro, I'm going to try this. I'm not a real pro at sleight of hand, but I'm going to try and attempt the Die Vernon. That was rubbish. Let me just grab a magic wand, one of my favourite props ever, and a ping pong ball. As you can see, the ping pong ball's right here, but you see, if you take the wand, give it a little, and it's just vanished. I don't know if that looks good, probably not, but basically that's just misdirection again. You look where you want your audience to look, the magic wand, and it's the quick motion timing is everything. You see what's happening in slow motion, you're looking at the wand, you're doing, try and do it like this, you're looking at the wand, and as you're moving across, you just drop the ball there, yes? Good. I have fooled people with that. I've done it like this, so I've said I take the ball and then I make the ball vanish and then it's vanished, yeah. And then I say, well, magicians don't think, they put the ball in their hand, so this time I'm actually going to put it in the hand, but you see it's the misdirection of the wand that actually makes it vanish. That was a rubbish one, I know. And it's preferable to keep it in your pinky because then you can twiddle around with the wand, basically saying that there's nothing else in this hand if you're doing the twiddle of the wand correctly, because if it's up here you're not going to be able to do that as easily and it's not going to look as natural. Because if you're doing this natural, it's basically saying there's nothing in this hand because I can do this so easily. Because without the ball in the hand you don't need to use your pinky at all. I'm just moving it around because of where the ring finger goes and the ring finger's involved in it. Yes? Okay. Good. Okay. Finally, what are we on to now? Kinds of magic. I'm going to say kinds of magic. Rubber bands are best for close-up because you don't want to do stage illusions as parlour magic because it's going to be easier to see where everything goes, because you can't use black art as part of 40 minutes in, crikey. You can't use the sawing women in half as parlour because they'll notice more often that the woman has shrunken in height than when she was standing up. it's better for stage. Lights can do something to your eyes sometimes. So yeah. Also, I have a friend who thinks rubber bands are better for stage. Please, how are rubber bands better for stage? You can't see them. Linking rings, however, yeah, they're alright for stage. But rubber bands, no. Because linking rings, they reflect light if you got a legit pair of linking rings, not these plastic ones like I used to have. I had Lucas and sell me a pair of mini ones for £3.50. They reflect light, so it's going to be beaming back at the audience, and they'll be able to see them a bit more easier. Yeah. And that's it basically. I think stage you can get away with more tricks, whereas close up, the misdirection, it's harder to get away with misdirection in close up, I think, than you can stage. So yeah. Also, you don't want to be doing, well, I think, yeah, that's it. So, I hope you enjoyed this. Again, there might be a video of this next year if my view of magic has changed, and there might be new different topics, because if I do this next year, I'll probably forget to write down the exact same topics on the post-it. Okay? So, I'll see you on Monday, obviously. Maybe I'll do another special this week, because before my laptop had a problem, on Monday, which was the day after my laptop started to have the problem, I was going to upload just 10 things we all did in primary, but thankfully to my really reliable memory sticks, which delete everything, only the HP one, I lost my HMM folder, which has everything for my main YouTube channel in it. The other ones were alright, but HMM always gets affected, always. So I lost that video, so I'm going to have to re-record it, and it took me about 3 hours to edit, because there were so many cuts, and music things and all that. So yeah, I'll see you on Monday. Again, might do one of these videos this time next year. Obviously not exact same date. Well, it might be, but always in November. I won't do them in October or December. Always November, unless of course there's a problem with my laptop again, which they're bound to be. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave it a like. Hope you have the same views as me. Sorry about that one cut. Thanks to my brother. You know. I don't know why I said that either, but anyway, that's it, guys.